How's it going, guys? Savi from West One Shop. Today, July 9th, 2020. As Invest 98L is no more, as we're seeing Tropical Storm Fay that just formed off of Cape Hatteras as of the 5 p.m. advisory, and we're definitely starting to see convection just off the coast of the Carolinas, Virginia, and the Delmarva Peninsula. Because before, even just early this morning and yesterday, there were a lot of sprawling thunderstorms that looked very disorganized. It didn't really have a core where the storm and low pressure could really focus on. But now it seems like that low has just formed off the coast of North Carolina, and we're seeing convection mainly to the northeastern side of this storm. And that's as a result of some of the wind shear that's still currently a little bit to the east of it right now. That's pretty much pulling a lot of those thunderstorms to the eastern side. However, I believe as that ridge builds from the south and as that ridge continues to build as the storm moves up north, we're going to see this storm become a little bit more symmetrical as it moves up the coast, as we're going to see more thunder showers move more towards the northern side of this low and continue to move more towards the western side. So although it doesn't look like the rain will directly hit you guys along Delmarva Peninsula in New Jersey just yet, it's eventually going to move over and bring quite a bit of rain and a flash flooding concern through a lot of these areas as of right now. And in terms of the strength of this storm, it's currently a 45-mile-per-hour storm as of the 8 p.m. advisory, and it's moving north at around 8 miles per hour, and I expect that to accelerate as this trough from the Great Lakes moves closer to the east coast. And it's currently not that strong at this point, and it's not expected to get much stronger, because if we look at the water temperature, if we look at the sea surface temperatures, I would say the eye right now is right around this point. It's going to move north into cooler waters around the mid to higher 70-degree water, which is below the threshold for hurricane development. However, it isn't so much lower to where this storm will completely die down, as it could still absorb some latent heat and energy from this mid to upper 70-degree water temperatures. So this still will absorb some energy, which will keep it from strengthening very rapidly as it moves up north. However, it won't completely weaken it or completely kill off this storm either, as it's just warm enough to at least maintain the strength of the storm and maybe strengthen it just a little bit before it makes landfall along the coast. But yeah, it doesn't seem like these cooler water temperatures will kill it off like we were hoping, unfortunately. And if we take a look at the current wind shear map, right now there's at the wind shear expected over the next 24 to 48 hours. And the thing that's also gonna strengthen it most likely is the lack of wind shear that's currently gonna impact it as this ridge continues to build towards the western Atlantic, because it'll block a lot of those troughs from the west that's currently drifting a lot of those thunderstorms to the east right now. And it will bring that, and it will make the storm look more symmetrical as a result, and we're going to start to see a little bit more symmetry and thunderstorms surrounding all areas of this low pressure system. And in terms of wind, this won't be much of a wind maker despite being a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm, since we're most likely going to see wind gusts over 40, especially along the coast. However, this doesn't seem to have very potent wind gusts, as it's barely a tropical storm pretty much. As you take a look at the wind field, the eastern portion of the storm is obviously where the largest wind field is and where the strongest storms and where the strongest winds are. And it's possible that we could see gusts over 40 to 50 miles per hour and maybe 60 in potentially severe thunderstorms. However, it's unlikely that there's going to be widespread wind damage, as if there's any wind damage, it's likely going to be on the coast, and it's going to be minimal at that. So this won't be much of a wind maker at all pretty much. And in terms of coastal flooding, it should also be limited as a result of the weaker winds, which is good news, as I mainly expect rip currents and higher surf. But other than that, coastal flooding seems for the most part unlikely with the storm. There may be some areas where you could experience coastal flooding, but it should be minimal if there is coastal flooding. So that isn't much to worry about. But the biggest threat with this storm is definitely going to be the rain, where we're going to see areas of 2 to 4 inches of rain expected throughout New Jersey, Delmarva Peninsula, and even extending as far west as eastern Pennsylvania, where we could see 2 to 3 inches in that area as well. And it moves up north as well, where we're going to see also 2 to 4 inches of rain throughout upstate New York and into Vermont. So, and the thing is that this rain is going to fall down very quickly. It's the rain's going to fall down in thunderstorms and in heavy downpour. So it's likely that flash flooding could be a pretty big threat with this storm as it continues to move up north. Let's take a look at the current track of this storm when it comes to assembly. So originally it was expected that this storm would mainly stay offshore of New Jersey, the Delmarva Peninsula, and maybe make landfall in Long Island or New England. However, the model's been shifting their forecasts a little bit, and the Spaghetti model's been shifting their forecasts a little bit more to the west, which would bring a more inward track, which I don't want to see, because that means it's more likely we're going to see the heavy rain go drop over New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delmarva Peninsula. However, it seems like the assembly models are shifting a little bit more west. There's still a possibility it could go further east and make landfall in Long Island and say just off the coast of the Delmarva Peninsula in New Jersey. However, there is still an equal chance that it could make landfall somewhere between Delmarva Peninsula and New Jersey tomorrow. We just have to wait and see, especially over the overnight hours, because if there's any slight shifts towards the west with this storm over the next several hours, then it's likely that it's going to make landfall over New Jersey and impact and bring more impacts to the Delmarva Peninsula at this point. So we're definitely going to keep track of that in terms of the track forecast. And if we take a look at the computer models, the GFS is definitely going to take a more landward track. And let me pull up the rainfall forecast for the GFS. Let me pull it up. I'm just waiting for this to load. All right, so here's the here's where the GFS currently puts it at, and I would say the storm's a little bit further to the east than this, so it's more likely that we're going to see a more eastward track at this point than what the GFS is stating, since the GFS already put it too far westward from where the storm is actually located. So it's more likely we're going to see an eastern track, but the GFS is definitely taking more a track that's more inland, where we're going to see more rain over the Delmarva Peninsula, New Jersey, and eastern Pennsylvania. However, the European seems to be the more accurate one at this point, where we're going to see it make landfall over New Jersey or Delmarva Peninsula, like the European model is stating. However, it won't go as far inland. So at this point, it seems like a landfall between Delmarva Peninsula and New Jersey is most likely. However, the strongest wind should be on the eastern side. So Long Island, you might not be, so don't let your guard down just yet, because it's more likely the winds are going to be on the eastern side of the storm. However, the rain should be on the more westward side by the time we hit tomorrow. So definitely watch out along New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and the Delmarva Peninsula for flash flooding. And in terms of the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, as of right now, you see that it's pretty much guaranteed at this point that it's going to make landfall. And right now, it's likely to make landfall somewhere between Long Island and New Jersey. If we were to take the center track, it seems like it's going to make landfall in New Jersey, and it's pretty much going straight towards the direction of New York City, as it is quite rare to not only see a tropical cyclone make landfall between New Jersey and New York, but it's even more rare that it's going to make landfall in early July, which is insane to think about considering how much wind shear we usually see in this region that would push these storms all the way out to sea. But it seems like there's just enough ridging to the to the east of this to where we're going to see the storm make landfall somewhere between New Jersey and New York, which is quite rare for early July and even the hurricane season in general to see a tropical cyclone make landfall in those regions. As in New Jersey, we only had 9 tropical cyclones that made landfall over the past 120 years. So it isn't every day you see a tropical cyclone make landfall around this area, but it seems that it's very likely at this point. So in terms of the strength forecast, it's unlikely that it's going to strengthen much more than what it is, but it seems like it seems like it's going to remain at tropical storm strength for the rest of its trek on northward, and maybe strengthen up to 50 miles per hour, maybe 55, but even that seems a little bit of a stretch, as I think the cap in terms of this storm strength should be at 50 miles per hour, and it won't strengthen much more or much less than what it is right now as it moves up northward. So to conclude, I would say that New Jersey, a lot of the northeast, should definitely be prepared for a flash flooding threat, heavy rainfall for tomorrow. And in terms of wind and coastal flooding, they're going to be it won't be much of a wind or coastal flooding threat at all. So I won't be too worried along the coast. However, along the creeks, along the rivers, definitely keep a lookout, since flash flooding is definitely possible with this storm, and we could see higher rainfall with this storm, especially if this moves off to the west. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Yeah, as it won't be a major storm, but it's definitely something to keep and watch. And it's amazing to see 6 tropical storms form this early in the season, which hasn't been done before at all. The second earliest was the 2005 hurricane season, which we all know was a crazy season. Hopefully it doesn't end up like that, but based off of what we're seeing and based off of the pace we're seeing right now, it's unfortunately looking like it could be another hyperactive season that could compete with the 2005 season, which is unfortunate to say, but it seems like this season is already getting crazy before we even hit the worst part of the season, unfortunately. So that's definitely something to worry about for this hurricane season. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video, and make sure to like if you like this video, and I hope you guys have a good day. And tomorrow I might be doing a live weather report out on the field, since I reside in New Jersey, and so I might be somewhere to report on this tropical storm, see if it brings the high winds or heavy rainfall towards an area. So keep a lookout for that, as I might do a live weather video tomorrow out on the field. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys have a good day and possibly see you tomorrow out on the field.